Anyway, why we did that was it's important to set it up for the next video, because in the video he talks about Iraq, and obviously he started the war. And well, let's just like watch it, and we're gonna stop it in certain parts and discuss it, and then well, let's just
get a perspective of what happened here.
Let's move on with it. Yeah, the video is from WikiLeaks from 2007, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's basically an ex-soldier who's talking about his experience at the war and what he witnessed there.
If this video disgusts you, it should. It happens daily in Iraq. The rules of engagement in Iraq are a joke.
Shoot.
This needs to end, and we need to bring the soldiers home now.
Keep shoot. Keep shoot.
There's some remarkably disturbing footage out today of a U.S. helicopter engaging with some folks in Baghdad in 2007. Do you think that sort of activity on its face appears to have been appropriate?
Obviously, it is very graphic in nature, and it's and extremely tragic.
Once you get on them, just open them up.
Our military will take every precaution necessary to ensure the safety and security of civilians, and particularly those that report in those dangerous places on behalf of news organizations.
You are free to engage over.
All right, we'll be engaging.
Roger, go ahead.
God damn it. Coming around. Just fucking, once you get on them, just open them up.
Yeah, Roger. I see your element. You got about 4 Humvees out along.
You're clear.
All right, firing. Line here. When the space line, let me know when you gather.
One shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260.
Come on, fire. Hey, Roger.
And the rules of engagement in 2007, when this happened, was if you feel threatened by anybody, you're able to engage that person. Many soldiers felt threatened just by the fact that you were looking at them. So they fired their weapons at anybody who was looking at them because I felt threatened. We were told that if we were to fire our weapons at people and we were to be investigated, officers would take care of you. We were given orders for 360-degree rotational fire whenever we were hit with an IED. We were told by our battalion commander to kill every motherfucker on the street. Many soldiers would not do that. We decided that we were going to shoot into the rooftop of buildings because if you didn't fire, the NCOs in your platoon would make your life hell. This happens on a daily basis. I've watched it with Bradleys destroying vans full of children who were in the way when an IED went off. The destruction of the Iraqi people happens on a daily basis. People just going to the markets. People just going to work. Children playing in their front yards. This is my experiences that day. That day started out much like many days in Iraq. We were woken up about 2:30 a.m. to prepare for a mission, one of many that seemed pointless. Our battalion commander called them Ranger Dominance, but many of the soldiers, such as myself, dubbed them Ranger Dumbass. These missions consisted of 2 companies walking through New Baghdad, unprotected from snipers and IEDs. We dreaded them and despised our battalion commander because of them. Our mission that day was to cordon off an area of New Baghdad and perform what is called knock-in searches.
All right, so just to kind of jump in there, I guess.
Okay.
Well, actually, there's not that much that happened yet in the video, but but the guy with the camera was shot, and that guy was those 2 gentlemen were part of
Reuters
news organization.
Right.
So yeah, you were saying that, well, okay, obviously they're shooting from an Apache helicopter from very far away.
Yeah, miles away.
Miles away.
Miles away. Because you can tell when you hear that's right by. That's right by where that machine gun is.
Yes.
And then you wait a second or 2.
Yeah.
And those bullets are traveling at how many kilometers, how many meters per second, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, all the ground around those guys just explodes, right?
Yeah.
And their arms and legs and heads come flying off.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, at that distance, though, I mean, you're looking at that monitor, right? And I have this kind of monitor here, actually, somewhere.
Right.
If you put it, like, even if I put it over there at the end of the studio, I can't see anything. But imagine, like, you're actually responsible for human lives. I mean, you're not killing people. And obviously, they mistook the camera for the weapon. I can kind of see that. I mean, if I walk around with a tripod, the tripod is a stick.
Which also guns use tripods as well.
Yes, yes.
So even if it's like a tripod shape, I don't know if you're going to use that to film me or shoot me.
Yeah.
Because snipers have tripods, right? When they set that up,
yeah. True.
Boom.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So another thing is like, I've never been to war. I don't know about yourself. I've never personally been to war. In a combat situation, I have to assume that these guys are flying around this helicopter. The guys who are flying, the commanders of the craft, are telling the gunmen or whatever in the back or next to them what to do. They're giving them direct orders.
Yeah.
Okay? They're telling them, you have to do what I say or your buddies are going to die.
Right.
So you see a guy, he's got a black thing in his hand. You're looking at it. You got 2 seconds to decide, is it this guy or my buddies? This guy or my buddies? This guy, fuck him. Then they just, all he does is he moves his fingers, boom, pulls the trigger, and like I said, bodies start flying apart.
Yeah. All right, so let's carry on. So basically, he's going to talk about his mission. And so they're going door to door, kind of searching houses, searching for weapons or.
Let me say something else.
Okay.
Like the commanding officer, what a dick.
Yeah.
That guy's just standing in the back while these kids are just kicking indoors. These kids are Rangers.
Yeah.
Which is highly trained.
Yeah.
Special Forces unit, right?
Yep.
So, but that commander, he's just sitting in the back. You saw the captain on the phone. He's not doing anything. It's the NCOs and the privates and the under E5s that are all doing all the hard work and all the dangerous work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on.
Which basically consists of us knocking on the doors of homes, asking to search the home for militia-related materials, weapons, or bomb-making materials. Funneling into an alleyway to leave the area when some locals on rooftops above us started firing their AK-47s at us. We took cover along a wall and were returning fire.
Hey, firm.
Have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
You're clear.
All right, firing.
Line here. When the stage line
Let me know when you gather.
One shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260s.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger.
That's when I heard it. The very distinct fire of an Apache 30mm cannon. And again, over and over.
Keep shooting.
It was very close. We need to move to that position now, came over the net.
All right, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
Myself and the team of soldiers I was with began running in the direction where we heard the Apache fire.
God damn it, Kyle.
All right. I hit him.
Got a bunch of bodies laying there. Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards.
Nice. Good shoot.
Thank you.
So there's a point I'd like to make here also.
Okay.
Well, there's many things going on here. I mean, first of all, that's a lot of ammunition to take out just 6 or 8 people.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, I'm not sure that if that gun that's mounted to the top of the front of an Apache helicopter, is that anti-personnel or anti-tank or anti-vehicle?
Yeah.
Because he said it's a 30 millimeter round. So that projectile is like that big.
Yeah.
Hitting you at velocity in your body.
Yeah.
That's ripping things apart, man.
Yeah. Well, towards the end there, actually, it's going to continue a few more times. What really pisses me off is that those guys there talking on the radio are actually kind of joking about it, and they're laughing about it, like, haha, like, look
Well, I
at
mean,
those.
we don't understand the stress those guys are in, right? Because
Yeah.
when people get nervous, or because you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know.
Yeah.
You just killed 8 dudes.
Yeah.
How do you? I've never killed anyone, but I know I wouldn't be in my normal self if
Yeah.
I was in that situation.
Yeah.
And how people deal with stress sometimes is by laughing. We don't know if he thinks it's funny
Yeah.
because he's not here for us to ask him.
Yeah.
But it does sound really, really horrible that they're laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
although later there is a part where the truck passes over a body, and they joke about that.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's the same situation.
Yeah.
It could be completely stressed out, and the only way to break the tension or not go crazy is to chuckle or make a joke or something.
Yeah.
Even though it's highly inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I get your point. I think, well, people who go to war, it's obviously a war environment,
Yeah.
and it's different from sitting in a studio or whatever on the beach,
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I don't think we as human beings we should lose our humanity when we do things, and
Well, we take responsibility, hopefully,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that's what we want people to do,
Yeah.
is take responsibility. But
well, these guys were probably prosecuted. I mean,
well, I don't know if they're prosecuted, but they're in a wartime situation,
Yeah.
and they have 2 seconds to decide. And they asked
they
asked another guy,
yeah,
"Can we shoot
yeah,
or don't shoot?" And that other
Yeah.
guy said, "Shoot." That's an order.
yeah, yeah.
So they have to do
Then
it.
they just obey.
They have to obey. You don't have. You
Yeah.
can't say no.
Yeah.
You don't understand it. You cannot say no. And then, if you refuse to do it, you might be killed.
Oh, yeah,
You have
sure.
you have 2 seconds or 1 second to react.
Yeah, yeah.
And then during their whole training, you're there to take care of your buddies.
Yeah.
The guy next to you might save your life one day, so you
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
take care
yeah.
of him. Those guys on the ground, you want them to come home to their families. Those are your team, your guys. They're piling this kind of mentality into your head at all times. Your team, your guys. Your team, your
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
Those other guys, they're not humans. Look at those bastards. They're all dead. Ha ha ha. That's the training
Yes,
kicking in right
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Because if you tell somebody that, and you force them to listen to that again and again and again, and then they're under stress, they're going to fall back on their training.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the idea.
All right, let's move on.
Let's carry on.
I was not even close to prepared for the carnage that I was about to walk onto. I saw what appeared to have been 3 men on a corner.
Got that big pile of bodies to the right on the corner.
We got dismounted infantry and vehicles. Over.
I saw an RPG next to one of the men and an AK-47.
We also have one individual appears to be wounded, trying to crawl away.
He's getting up.
If he has a weapon though in his hand,
All I gotta do is pick up a weapon.
come on, buddy. If we see a weapon, we're going to engage. Now, Bushmaster, we have a van that's approaching and picking up the bodies.
Where's that van at?
Right down there by the body.
Okay, yeah.
Bushmaster, Crazy Horse, we have individuals going to the scene. Looks like possibly picking up bodies and weapons.
Let me engage.
Hey, we need to stop that. We get down there. We need to
Shoot.
stop. You see my look?
Roger. Break. Crazy Horse 1-8, request permission to engage individual.
Picking up the wounded. Yeah, we're trying to get permission to engage. Come on, let us shoot.
Bushmaster, Crazy Horse 1-8.
We're taking him.
Bushmaster, Crazy Horse 1-8.
This is Bushmaster 7, go ahead.
Roger, we have a black SUV or bongo truck picking up the bodies. Request permission to engage.
Bushmaster 7, Roger. This is Bushmaster 7, Roger, engage.
1-8, engage. Clear.
Come on.
Clear. Clear.
We're engaged as well. The van's disabled.
Go ahead and shoot it. Left. Clear left.
Oh yeah, look at that, right through the windshield.
What we call frequency.
Guy just drove over a body.
Did he?
Yeah.
Viper 5-2, report freak chain zone 4.
Maybe it was a visual illusion, but it looked like it.
Oh, they're dead, so.
Van that was engaged. Looks like a kid. Over.
Okay, yeah, so just a quick point here. Again, that's a lot of ammunition just to take out a van. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to make a mistake, right? You don't want to
Yeah.
kind of take it out. You want to
Yeah.
really take it out.
yeah, but after they shoot the van, there are 2 times they shoot more. I don't see anybody there. I think it's just shooting the ground.
Well, I
But
mean,
you never know.
We're
I
looking
mean,
we're looking at the video, right?
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
seeing one monochrome monitor. That guy's
Yeah.
looking at FLIR, heat, like everything, like
Yeah.
what secret stuff we don't even know
That's
about,
true,
like
yeah.
aboard the Starship Enterprise,
Yeah,
like inside
yeah.
the Apache helicopter, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what he's looking at.
Yeah.
So he's a professional, and he's decided to engage again, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Right? Another thing that I want to point out here is, like, I know it's horrible, and I'm not making excuses for this.
Yeah.
But he's talking to another guy on the ground who's also miles away, who's not looking at a monitor, and he says, we have a black van. This guy's picking up bodies and weapons. He didn't say, oh, there's 2 kids in the truck. He didn't say they might be trying to help. He said, here's the situation. We have a black van picking up bodies and weapons.
Yeah.
Can I shoot it? And the guy goes, shoot it.
Yeah.
Which was, of course, is the right answer for him.
Yeah.
Because if he said no, then he's responsible for that.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a tough situation. I'm glad I never had to go through that.
Yeah. And when I just when I saw this video yesterday, when I was editing it, I actually didn't see the children very clearly. But now when I was watching it, I could really see very clearly.
We've both seen this a couple times.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's very clear to us. But
the first time
in a stress situation,
Yeah.
while you're flying a helicopter,
Yeah.
and you're looking at something and trying not to crash the helicopter, and you're talking to a guy on the phone and
Yeah.
looking around, and you're going to kill someone.
Yeah.
You don't really focus in on the fine points. That could be 2 children. Well, what you know what? I hate to say this. What if there is 2 children in there and they're sitting on top of a bomb? You don't know.
Yes.
You don't know the situation.
Yeah, and the other thing is, well, if you look at countries like Palestine,
They do that.
actually in even
Vietnam,
kids had
kids would come with a
actually
shoe shine
were-
box
yeah.
and then go up to soldiers, and the box would explode and kill them and the soldier.
Or they just use the AKs or whatever.
Right,
I mean,
right.
child soldiers, right?
Right,
I mean, it's
Africa's like
Africa,
that.
yeah.
You don't know, and we're looking at it as 2 guys sitting in Japan in a studio, not in a wartime situation, not in a helicopter, not just having killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's difficult for us to put ourselves in those guys' situations.
Yeah.
Because I respect what they do.
Yeah.
I respect the soldiers. I respect all of our troops. But I'm just saying, I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions.
That's actually a point that I wanted to make and I forgot about, and you reminded me about it.
Okay.
So there is this thing in America which I don't agree with, that every single American is like a hero. Sorry, that sounded a mess already. So every single American soldier is a hero. Well, I think that.
Some are assholes.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Some are assholes. But I mean, okay, if you go to a war based on fictitious reasons, for fictitious resources or whatever, and you kill pretty much a bunch of innocents, does that make you a hero? Or?
No, but you're simplifying it too much. Those guys don't have a choice.
I know.
It's like here in Japan, we have U.S. military.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't sign up hoping to come to Japan. Most likely, they went through basic training and they got a paper in their formation one morning and says, "Pack your bags, son. You're or young lady, you're going to this place."
Right.
They don't choose.
Yeah.
And they can't refuse.
Yeah.
So I mean, does it make them a hero? I think it makes them a hero in the sense that they went there to do a mission. They did what they were supposed to do, right? And they had to choose between life and death, and maybe they chose to kill, maybe they chose not to kill. In that situation, they're kind of a hero, in my opinion. I mean, we don't, maybe we don't agree.
We probably don't. No.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how most likely everyone's looking at it. And also, what we're told that they're going over there to help those people.
Yeah.
We never got to see videos where people are getting shot up and laughed at. We're going over there to help them. We're going over there to make them free.
Yeah.
In that case, if you're going over to help someone become free, then you are a hero.
Yes.
Right.
Although we know in retrospect that those reasons were not.
Yeah, we're looking at this 8 years later.
Right.
And 8 years in the future from when that happened, right? So during those times, we don't know what we would have done ourselves.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Sure.
Over.
Crying. I hear crying. Not cries of pain, but that of a small child who had just woken up from a horrible nightmare.
Yeah, it looks like we got some slight movement from the van that was engaged. Looks like a kid. Over.
I saw that there was a minivan, and the cries appeared to be coming from it. Myself and another soldier, a 20-year-old private, walked up to the passenger side van and looked inside. The private that I was with reeled back, began to vomit, and quickly ran away. What I saw when I looked in the van was a small girl about 4 years old on the passenger side of the bench seat. She had a severe belly wound and was covered in glass.
Roger, we need to evac this child. She's got a wound to the belly.
The glass was in her hair and also in her eyes. Next to her, half on the floorboard, with his head resting on the seat, was a boy about 7 years old. He wasn't moving, and from the severe wound to the right side of his head, my first thought was that he was dead. In the driver's seat was who I immediately concluded must have been these children's father by the way he was hunched over the children in a protective manner. There was no way that the father had survived. I immediately grabbed the little girl and screamed for a medic. The medic and myself went into a house behind the van. There was a local man hiding in fear in his kitchen of his home. I yelled out to him to help me. He stood up and quickly grabbed a bucket of water, which the medic and I used to clean the girl off. I pulled as much glass from the little girl's eyes as I could so that she can blink. The whole time thinking, fuck, what the fuck, these are babies.
Hey, I need to get the brass to drop ramps. I got a wounded girl. We need to take the rest of mile. Roger, I've got 11 Iraqi KIAs, 1 small child wounded, over.
Damn. Oh well. Oh, it's their fault for bringing their kids to a battle. That's right.
See, my son was born May 31st, 2007. I had yet to see him. And I had a daughter who was barely older than this girl. The medic radioed in that the little girl needed to be evacuated because there was nothing else he can do here. I handed the child to the medic, who then ran the girl to a waiting Bradley armored vehicle. I walked back to the van. I don't know why, or what told me to go back to the van. There was just something making me go back to the van. I looked inside the van again. Did the boy just move? Holy shit, the boy just moved. I grabbed the boy from the van and held him against my chest. I was screaming at this point, the boy's alive, the boy's alive. I started running to the Bradley in hopes that it wasn't leaving. At this point, the boy looked up at me. Then his eyes rolled back, and my heart sunk. It's okay, I have you. It's going to be okay. Don't die, don't die. I squeezed him a little bit tighter. I put him into the Bradley as gently as I could.
Can you tell battalion the 2 civilian children casualties are coming back to West Maya and the Bradley, over?
Roger, that's negative on evac and the 2 civilian kids to Rusty. They're going to have the IPs will take them to a local hospital, over.
What the fuck are you doing, McCord? It was my platoon leader. You need to quit worrying about these fucking kids and pull security, he screamed. At the time, the only thing I can think of was, Roger that, sir.
Okay, because now he's going to move on into a little different section at the end there.
Okay.
About mental health and
Sure.
and that's a whole other topic. So
Sure.
I just want to kind of cut there.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, comments.
Well, I mean, as we mentioned before, it's not unheard of for people, as horrible as it may be, to use children as weapons.
Yeah.
And we don't know the situation, you know.
Or shields.
They'll use them as shields, but I mean, in the case we talked about before, you know, they'll strap a bomb to a kid and send him over to a soldier, and then the bomb goes off and kills him and the soldier.
Yeah.
So it's horrible, and that's war, man. And I guess, I don't know, I've never been through it, but I mean, at this point, as bad as it may sound, that guy's commanding officer was correct. They just got into a big fight.
Yeah.
They need to pull security rather than worry about civilian lives at that point. They need to protect their team. From a military perspective, that's what he should have done.
Yeah.
And you know, just as if you've watched any movies, you're not supposed to be in if you're a soldier, you're not supposed to be worrying about the kids, right? Right. You're supposed to be worrying about your buddies, your platoon.
Yeah.
So his commander was correct in telling him to pull security.
Yeah.
Horrible though, man. That video, watching that, it from a human side of things, from a human perspective, that really kicks you right in the stomach, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do, and you know what's going to happen, and these are just like things that we don't want to see normally in our lives, right?
And in fact, those things we never see in our lives, because, okay, just go back a little bit to the war in Vietnam. I think the war in Vietnam was, I don't know, could be wrong, but it might have been the last war that America was involved in when America was actually involved in the war, because it was well documented, pictures and videos coming back every day, and people could see the horrors. But now...
Well, there's rules now. You can't show American soldiers coming back in coffins. There's a rule. I think Bush changed that. Bush made that rule where they're not allowed because he was getting a lot of flack because people were getting killed.
Right.
And every time someone says, "Oh, we've lost this many amount of Americans," we don't even know how many Iraqis were killed. There's no way to there's no way to count. There's millions.
Yeah.
And those will always be unanswered for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from the perspective of those people, of the Iraqis, let's say let's say like that the boy actually was absolutely fine, but he saw his father like just ripped to shreds with a 13
his sister,
gun. When you grow up, guess what's on your mind?
Yeah, he's not going to be a fan of Americans.
No. And so I don't know.
Are we making it worse? Are we making it better? It's hard to say.
Well, apparently, in Iraq, I think it's very clear. It's worse. I mean, now with ISIS, just going on a rampage and murdering Christians in the country, murdering everybody who's not of their faith.
No, they're
destroying
cutting people's
relics.
heads off. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're murdering people in horrific ways. I mean, this is horrific itself, but burning people alive.
Yeah.
It's medieval.
Yeah. All right, well, let's finish the last part. So now he's going to jump into the issue of mental health in the Army, which is very important.
Yes, it is.
And people are not taken care of. So just let's finish that and we'll talk.
Okay.
The very thing that the Army taught us not to do in war, I was doing. My humanity and love for the human race was overcoming everything they taught me. My mind was reeling, the thoughts controlling every ounce of me. It was then I decided I needed to go see a mental health counselor. I went to a staff sergeant who was in my line and asked to speak with him. When I told him my feelings and how I was unable to deal properly in the Army sense with what I had just witnessed, his response was, "You need to suck that shit up. Quit being a pussy and get the sand out of your vagina. If you go to mental health, there will be repercussions like being charged with malingering." I couldn't believe that needing to talk to somebody could constitute a crime in the Army. But like a good little soldier, I said roger that, and went back to my room to cope the only way I knew how, which was by watching as many movies and listening to as much music as I could to escape the reality of what I was. I became extremely angry. I yelled at everyone. I yelled and was angry at my soldiers, my family, the civilians back home. But mostly I was angry with myself. I hated myself for what I was a part of. There were many days in Iraq that I dreamed for an IED or a sniper to take me out and end the pain I was feeling. Ever since that day, I live with this. It's burned into my head. I don't need to watch the movie. I see it every day. I hear the cries of the children when I close my eyes. I smell the smells. When it's quiet, I see the carnage like a slideshow. I'm hoping one day I can sleep a full night without the memories coming back to haunt me. The innocence lost. My friends lost. Hopefully one day I won't be so angry. Hopefully one day I'll help others see that they're not alone in valuing life. Thank you.
Okay, and now we can really finish the show.
Okay.
So obviously, well, he touches upon the issue of PTSD, and I think, well, you said actually a lot of people probably suffered from that in the past, but because the science was not really there, the psychiatry was not really up to par. Nobody really kind of identified the specific issue with that.
Right. What we're talking about is pre-show. We were talking about this video, and I was saying that how PTSD is now a buzzword. For the Revolutionary War, Vietnam War, I don't ever recall them ever bringing up the subject. Right. Yeah. So the PTSD, is that a new phenomenon, or is it diagnosable phenomenon?
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm sure that, this guy, he went through a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to distract from that. He went through a horrible thing. But then again, as a human species, we used to watch people in the Colosseum fight to the death all the time.
Yeah.
The gladiators, people would throw Christians to lions. Yeah. And we used to see death all the time. People would die of leprosy, or they just drop dead on the street and people would just walk around them. Mm-hmm. Now we've gotten to the point where it's something that's shocking to us, right? Wars are shocking to us, and seeing people get shot up and just they're dying in new horrible ways. But as a human race, we've kind of gotten soft a little bit on that. I wonder if in the old days if they would have felt that way.
I don't know if it's an issue of being soft or just an issue of kind of the humanity just evolving to be more, I don't know, respectful or have more empathy towards people who are dying. I think it's a combination of.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely. But I mean, we can't take away what happened to him, and what we can do. And I mean, in the future, it's going to happen to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Someone else is going to see death. Someone else is going to be in a war. But what we can do is, and what we should be doing is, we should be learning how this affects those people and look on ways to treat them. Because like I've read some studies where they're using like MDMA to treat PTSD. You know, and MDMA at this point in time is currently considered an illegal drug, ecstasy or Molly. You know, they call it Molly.
Yeah.
So, but it gives them an overwhelming euphoric feeling, right? So they can cope with this PTSD, which is tells them to be completely sad and they're a horrible piece of shit for what they've gone through, when in fact they didn't have a choice. As I brought up several times, they don't get a choice, you know. So.
But I mean, like we mentioned, Bush gutted the budget for finding help for those people. Man, I want to make another point and then just flew out of my mind.
Happens to me all the time.
Oh man, I can't remember.
That's okay. But let's talk about like how would you change it? I mean, what would you offer these people to help them to cope with their PTSD or what they've seen?
There's two answers to your question. The first one is actually not a direct answer. The first answer is that I don't think there should be a war that is fought for fake reasons.
But I mean, let me jump in here.
Yeah.
Humans have always gone to war.
Yes.
Reasons or no reasons. Right now we say that it's a fake reason. At that time, if we didn't know what we knew now, we would have been, they blew up our buildings, let's go get them. Right?
Yeah.
Rah, 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 American.
It was a panic reaction.
But that's human nature.
Yeah.
We've been going to war since we were human.
Not everybody voted for the war, though. That's important to mention.
No one voted for the war. I mean, we don't get to vote.
We don't.
Yeah,
they
did, right?
Yeah,
Congress or whatever, they choose.
Hillary did.
Yes. But what I'm saying is like, at the time, given all that information, they were given bullshit information.
Yeah.
And they were still pissed off about 9/11.
Yeah.
And incredibly emotional.
Yeah.
An emotional decision was made.
Yes.
We can't take that back now.
No.
And in the future, it's going to happen again.
Well, yeah.
There's going to be more wars eventually.
Yeah.
Given a time period, enough time, right?
Yeah.
How do we deal with people who've seen horrible things, PTSD? How do we deal with that?
The main thing, and I watched a few people who came back from war about American soldiers, and basically they say that the main problem for us is that we are not reintegrated into society at all.
I get that.
And so, the suicide rate is very high among them right now.
Yeah, inside the service, even before they get out, they end up committing suicide or hurting themselves.
Yeah.
And let's just say at this point, if you're thinking about hurting yourself or you're suicidal, please talk to someone.
Yeah.
Please get help. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so let's go back to the PTSD thing. How would you help? What would you suggest that they do that's not being done now?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
more psychologists, more access.
Yes,
more access to newer drugs, more studies.
Yes, definitely more. If they have access to at least somebody they can talk to, I think that's already a big positive.
Yeah, he was told, "Get the sand out of your vagina," which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, not in that context, but I think it's just funny that the guy said that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he reached out. And he got slapped for it. I think that guy who said that to him should be reprimanded or something.
Yes.
If someone reaches out to you, or a soldier, under your command reaches out to you, help that poor kid.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Talk to him for 5 minutes. It might make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I actually have a friend in Canada who, he's not been to war. He's just depressed by himself.
Mentally.
Mentally, yeah. And he said even in Canada, finding just somebody you can talk to, you have to go on a waiting list, and that waiting list, maybe like in 1 year they will see you. But 1 year, you have to wait every day. You have to live with those nightmares or whatever you problem you have.
Sounds like he needs a buddy, huh?
Yeah.
Like someone to talk to. And even if it's not a psychologist, that was my point.
Yeah.
You need to get those out, those feelings out.
Yeah.
And get someone else's perspective on them, I guess.
Yeah. The problem is, like, I think yes, definitely more people to talk to, more professionals, I mean. But also they need to be reintegrated into society much better than they are now. Usually those people who come back from war, they can't find a job because who will hire a guy who is depressive, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
he'll bring down everyone if he's sick, right? He needs help. He can't function in a normal society.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for them. Yeah. But well, they have in the military they have chaplains, but
yes,
I wouldn't want to talk to a chaplain.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to their crap.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they've just created one guy who's a not even a chaplain. It's just a humanist, right? I guess the rank is captain and he's a chaplain, but he's a humanist. He's not part of a religion.
Okay.
So I think, but the fact that you've only got one, is surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be many more.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like we said before. They went to war. People were unprepared. By the way, if you remember the start of the war, soldiers were complaining, we don't even have body armor.
Yeah, we don't have armored vehicles. We're getting shot by small arms. Yeah.
So basically, this country was unprepared for war. They went to war. They were not. They didn't have an exit strategy. They didn't have any strategy for dealing with people who came back from war. That was just a clusterfuck on every possible level you can imagine.
I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Thank you so much. Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, all we can do now is we can learn from our past mistakes and try to correct them.
Yeah.
Your vote counts.
Yes.
Don't play. I only vote Democrat. I only vote Republican. Vote for the guy who'll do the best job. Your vote counts, and this is the point where, we're coming up on an election next year, where instead of skipping it or not doing anything, get out there and vote. Change the way things are happening.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to vote.
I always do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and just jump on your point. I see many people saying, well, okay, usually I vote Democrat, right?
Right.
And today, unfortunately, the camps are really quite.
They're the same. That's what we pointed out earlier in the show.
Yeah. Basically, they don't vote then for the Democrat, right? And then the Republican wins. But the Republican agenda is very well known to pretty much anybody at this point.
Right.
I mean, they're pretty much a Bible-thumping party. They want to gut every support for poor people or whatever, people who come back from war. They don't want gay people.
Yeah.
They're against drugs most of the time. We know their agenda.
Yeah.
So if you don't, I don't like Hillary myself.
I don't either.
I prefer Bernie Sanders. I think he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think his old age should play any role in him being a president.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're older, you're probably wiser.
In that case,
not always, but.
Well, I mean, what does the president actually do? The president just has the power to veto things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we reform needs to happen in Congress.
Yes.
The executive branch is kind of like a figurehead.
Yeah.
It's like the Queen of England. I mean, he has more power obviously than the Queen of England, but his main power is the power to veto.
Yeah.
So I think first you should start by limiting terms.
Yes.
In Congress. That would be the best reform ever.
Yeah.
And then after that, things will start getting better, I think.
Yeah, and get rid of the Citizens United. I mean, all that crap. That
Tea Party.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people who don't vote. Okay, let's say next year it is Hillary and Jeb. If you obviously don't want to vote Republican, but you don't like Hillary, so you end up not voting for anybody. You abstain. Actually, what happens in that case is very simple. You're actually helping the Republican team because that's exactly what they want. They don't.
You can always vote for a third party.
But there is no third party. That's the problem.
There's independents.
But there is no hope for them. Really.
Yeah, they're kind of just crazies. Yeah.
I mean, I wish they had like even more parties. I wish they had 10 people to choose from. But
but unfortunately, we're stuck with a two-party system. Yeah. There's nothing that we could do to change that. So.
Well, there is, but it requires more.
I don't think we have that within our lifetime.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me anyway. Do you have anything to add or?
We support our troops, and that's about it. Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for coming on the show again.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you in sometime later this year.
In the near future.
Yeah, near future.
This is the end of the season, though, right?
Well, next episode, and then we'll take a break. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What, can you tell us what's going to be on the next episode?
Next episode, I think we're going to jump back into evolution, actually, because Angel did covered a video about evolution. So there's a part 2 to that. So
Excellent.
I want her to cover that because she has knowledge and
Okay.
well, she has a physics background. Boyfriend has a chemistry background, so that's perfect. I mean,
Awesome.
that's all you need to cover it.
I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, and well, see you next time.